So, there's been a lot of debating, and we don't do a debate show here about, who are the 10 best basketball players of all time. And I thought, what does best mean? It's easier for me to get my arms around impactful and important. My wife's the most important person in our family. That's an easy one. Best? What does that mean? Is best points? Is it MVPs? If you're going to put best in, you can argue that Bill Russell wasn't as talented as Wilt. Russell won 11 titles. It's the most ever. It's almost double Jordan. So I thought, I'm going to tell you who I believe are the most important players in the history of the NBA for a variety of reasons, but I don't think you can argue their importance. And so in no real order, I just think I'm going to go in like chronological order in terms of eras. So the first one I would mention is Bill Russell. Not only did he win 11 NBA championships, so he's the winningest player in league history. He was a coach. He was a broadcaster when I was a kid growing up. He defined what it was about. It wasn't about blocking shots. It was about blocking the ball to a teammate. Russell was all about winning, and that is still what we love most about players today. Bill Russell, one of the 10 most important players in league history. I would follow that with Jerry West, the logo. Not only was Jerry a great player, I don't know if you knew this, he played 14 years in the league. He was an all-star every year. He then became an architect for arguably the most popular team in league history, the Showtime Lakers. He built that puppy. And he's also part of the Winning Time movie we're seeing right now. Jerry West is so important to the history and marketability of the NBA. Third, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. It was in the early 70s when he won a title in Milwaukee and then told the team privately, trade me. I'm not going to go public. He became the league's all-time leading scorer. He's the only player in league history with 6 championships and 6 MVPs, 20 years, 19 All-Star games. He was in the movie Airplane, often stoic and prickly. He's the greatest scorer ever, the most unstoppable shot ever. And again, in the history of the Lakers, there have been more popular players, never one as dominant. Then I would go Dr. J. The term posterized, he added flair to the league. He also legitimized the ABA, which remains one of the great sports stories of all time. He then was the best player in that league, came to the NBA, and was arguably the best player in that league. He had one of the early shoe contracts, if I remember, with Converse, scored over 30,000 points between both leagues. To me, he's arguably the most memorable player from my childhood, Dr. J. I'll put Magic and Bird in together. They joined the league together in '79. The league was in trouble. There were several broke franchises. It wasn't terribly marketable. The championship, the finals, was on tape delay after the late news. They had a college rivalry briefly. Indiana State and Michigan State met for the championship. Later became friends. But it was the Celtics, it was the Laker, it was hard-nosed Larry Bird, it was Showtime Magic. Hugely, hugely valuable to the domestic product. Then Michael Jordan, that made the sport global. Arguably the greatest player ever, the most marketed player ever, made over $1 billion from Nike. According to Forbes, his brand is now worth $10 billion, 10 times LeBron. Now think about that. 10-time scoring champ, and I would argue the most memorable and dynamic player in league history. After that, Kobe Bryant. Do you know Kobe's shoes this year were worn by 90 players? They were the most worn shoe in the league. All-time leading scorer in the most noteworthy franchise in this league, the Los Angeles Lakers. An 18-time All-Star. Closest thing we've ever seen to Michael with the same level of artistry. LeBron James, second most points in league history. Popularized mobility. Empowered the players. Has opinions about politics, which are polarizing to some, but has never backed down. He has won championships Miami, Cleveland, and Los Angeles. Still remains a top 5 player in the league 2 decades in. And finally, Steph Curry, who literally changed the game. It looks different at the high school, AAU, college, and professional level. From G League to international, we play basketball differently, analytically, because of Steph Curry. 4 titles in 8 years. I also think he's made it incredibly cool to be selfless. Always an underrated facet at all levels of basketball. 10 best, I don't know. 10 most important players in professional basketball history. That's my list. Make of it what you will. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.